This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Cornwall Regional Hospital is like a war zone, PNP says. Opposition spokesperson on tourism, Senator Janice Allen, has warned that with renovation work at the Cornwall Regional Hospital extending into a fifth year with no clear word as to when it will be completed, the people of Western Jamaica are living on borrowed time. Allen has also likened conditions at the Cornwall Regional Hospital to a war zone. Since the formal start of the tourism industry in the early 50s, some 70 years ago, Montego Bay, as a major city in the West, has never been without a hospital that has the capacity to deal with the major emergencies. In this regard, we're now living on borrowed time, Allen said Friday during her contribution to the 2021-22 State of the Nation debate in the Senate. Allen lamented the poor conditions under which staff members at the Cornwall Regional Hospital are forced to work, even while she lauded them for their selfless contribution during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. In all of this, Mr. President, I must take the opportunity to pay tribute to our healthcare workers, the ancillary staff, the nurses and the doctors, technicians who have all worked beyond the call of duty throughout the pandemic. However, indulge me as I say a special word of thanks to the healthcare workers at the Cornwall Regional Hospital who continue to give human service in unfair conditions that often resemble a war zone, Allen declared. The opposition senator said she has had family members at the hospital in the past few months, and every visit there I am more amazed and grateful for all they do. I lift my hat to them, she said. According to Allen, it was not fair that after 5 years, workers are still awaiting the completion of the seemingly never-ending refurbishing or reconstruction of the only Type A hospital on the western side of the island. Several $billion have already been spent, and we are yet to be given a completion date or a sufficiently credible status report as to the progress of the work. It is not fair that our healthcare professionals are therefore denied the professional satisfaction of giving optimal care to their fellow citizens, Allen stated. Given the current pace of work and lack of transparency around this project, it is not fair that this facility could remain incomplete for another 5 years, she said. 2 dead following crash in Spanish Town. A team of officers assigned to the St. Catherine North Traffic Department are probing the circumstances surrounding the death of 2 men on Brunswick Avenue, Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Thursday, June 24. Dead are 52-year-old Herman Williams of North Monticello Crescent, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, and an unidentified man. Reports are that about 9:30 p.m., Williams was driving a Mazda Biante motor car with the unidentified as a passenger heading towards Spanish Town, St. Catherine. On reaching a section of the roadway, Williams allegedly lost control of the vehicle and collided into a perimeter wall. Both Williams and the unidentified man sustained multiple injuries and were taken to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. Curfew imposed in sections of Kingston East. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Franklin Town and Dunkirk in Kingston East. The police curfew began at 7 p.m. on Saturday, June 26, and will remain in effect until 7 p.m. on Monday, June 28. The boundaries of the curfew are as follows. North along Cumberland Avenue from the intersection with Upper Elletson Road, continuing onto Cambridge Street to the bridge, then along a footpath to Somerset Avenue at the eastern boundary. East along Somerset Avenue from the footpath at eastern boundary, continuing onto Bray Street, then onto Windward Road at the southern boundary. South along Windward Road from the intersection with Bray Street to the intersection with Upper Elletson Road at the western boundary. West along Upper Elletson Road from the intersection with Windward Road to the intersection with Cumberland Avenue at the northern boundary. Secondary boundaries. North along Deanery Road from the intersection with Upper Elletson Road to the intersection with Upper York Street at the eastern boundary. East along Upper York Street from the intersection with Deanery Road, continuing onto Somerset Avenue and Bray Street, then onto Windward Road at the southern boundary. South along Windward Road from the intersection with Bray Street to the intersection with Upper Elletson Road at the western boundary. West along Upper Elletson Road from the intersection with Windward Road to the intersection with Deanery Road at the northern boundary. The police said during the hours of the curfew, people within the boundaries of the curfew are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. Last week Monday, a curfew was imposed in sections of Kingston Central. Man turns himself in after killing brother in Manchester. The police are reporting that a man accused of killing his brother in the Montpelier housing scheme near Gutters on Friday has turned himself in. The deceased has been identified as 61-year-old construction worker Minel Anderson, otherwise called Wire. According to police reports, about 2 p.m., Anderson and his brother had a dispute when a knife was used to stab him. The police were alerted and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Health Minister sheds light on renewing contracts for doctors. Minister of Health Dr. Christopher Tufton has shed light on the situation concerning the 143 doctors who have not been told whether their contracts will be renewed. He's described it as a changing environment in the public healthcare system where there are not enough positions available for all doctors. The doctors and representatives of the Health Ministry are scheduled to meet this week to discuss the issue which could cause disruption in the health sector. According to the Health Minister, more doctors are being trained, and while the system needs their services, the Minister has to evaluate what's affordable at this time. He argues that this is a long-term problem, so it will not be solved overnight. There has been a need, and because of the increase in numbers, we have had to look at what our established posts are, what we can take on in terms of contracts, and from there you would have others who have gone elsewhere. It is now an increasing challenge because more people are coming out in the job market, he said. The health minister, who was speaking with the news, suggested that more solutions will have to be explored more deeply, and this process should involve the doctors and other stakeholders. Well, I'm not suggesting that we are going to let them go. What I am suggesting is that we have to consider how they are engaged and how many are engaged. It is also a consideration of budget and how they are financed. And that is something that we have been discussing, he said. St. James has the highest illegal firearm recovery rate, says Chang. The St. James police have taken some 72 illegal firearms from off the streets since the start of the year, the most illegal firearms recovered throughout the 19 police divisions, Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang has disclosed. Last year, members of the St. James Police Division recovered a total of 119 illegal firearms. In fact, St. James has the highest recovery rate in Jamaica as a division, Dr. Chang stated. He was speaking yesterday in Norwood, where a zone of special operations was declared in the community by Prime Minister Andrew Holness last Sunday. On the third day into the Norwood Zozo, Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, during a visit to the community, revealed that up to that point, some 7 people were arrested and charged for major crimes, including illegal possession of firearms, sex offenses, and lotto scamming. Just launching this special zone of special operations, it's been 3 days we have arrested and charged about 7 persons who are involved in criminal activities, Major General Anthony Anderson disclosed. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.